For this time outside of time, in the next hour, you will be guided through some physical movements, some gentle stretches and explorations of physical movements. And you will be guided next through a breathing practice, and we will finish our time together with a yoga nidra. And welcome to this evening's movement session. Welcome. As some of you are entering, I invite you to get comfortable. Those of you who are here already, you are invited to be connected to your breath, to your body, and to be here and present. For this time outside of time, in the next hour, you will be guided through some physical movements, some gentle stretches and explorations of physical movements. And you will be guided next through a breathing practice, and we will finish our time together with a yoga nidra. So to that end, if there's anything that needs to be shared, if there's something about your physical health today that you would like me to know, you can private message that in the chat. You can also put it in the group chat if that's something you're comfortable doing. But if there's something I need to know to serve you best, you have that option to communicate with me. And everything I offer is a suggestion. Everything I show and demonstrate and suggest is exactly that. It's an invitation for you to choose whether or not you want to do with your body what I am suggesting. So all of the things that we do can be done in the mind. You might do this practice completely mentally, and you might choose to do it physically with your physical body. Whether you're lying down or sitting, I invite you to become aware of your feet and your toes and just take a moment to bring the awareness down to those low parts of the body. And we'll move systematically through the joints. If you're lying down, the body can be in its resting place. You can be sitting on a chair. And if you are on the floor, the recommendation is to lengthen out the legs. And when you're ready, wherever you are, you let the toes bend down into little foot fists, and then let them reach out and open. Put my toes in the gap there. So closing the toes to squish and crunch and press any stagnation, any tension out of the feet, and then lifting to reach the toes up and back. And you might do that as fast as your breath. You might do that slower. You might hold for several breaths if something feels good. You might divide out. You might divide the big toe out from the remaining group of little toes. You might have big toe going one direction and the little toes the other way. As you bring your awareness and your efforts down to the feet. And then letting the little toes lead the way, letting the little toes fan the feet. And so the toes face each other and the feet face each other, and then they turn away. So little ankle movement, foot movement, just waking up these joints, moving in a way where you feel the movement. What is happening here? What does the right side do? What does the left side do? And then from those movements, you're invited to point and flex the whole foot. And you might feel that along the length of the legs if you're engaging through all those details. You might feel this up in the calves, maybe even into the hamstrings. Flexing and pointing the foot, both feet, and then drawing circles, making rotations, letting those toes dance around so that you explore the range of movement in each ankle. What circle can you make? At least 3 in this direction, maybe more, and then change the direction. And making that rotation go the opposite way, at least 3, and maybe 5 or 6 of these movements if that feels good. And from those rotations, the invitation is to explore an infinity symbol. If you can draw those infinity shapes with the toes, with the feet, so that you're getting all the different movements in the ankles in one direction, and then change, reverse that direction and continue the infinities going the opposite way. So giving your ankles this exploration, taking a few moments, whatever else you might need in your ankles. You might want to point and flex a few more times. You might like those rotations, letting your ankles shake and wiggle if that's what you want. Just giving a few more breaths, a few more moments to the feet. To the feet as we prepare to work with the knee. If you're lying on the back, you might bring one foot up into your hands, and same if you're sitting, just holding one foot. To begin with the opening and the closing, we know that this leg can be straight and long, and it can be folded down and bent. So exploring the knee, at least 3. Again, you might feel like, oh, my knee feels great, there's nothing here. Or you might be like, oh, a little tension here when I extend it, or maybe a little tension when I flex it. So 3, at least, maybe more, up and down. And then the rotation, exploring what would it be like to draw a circle that starts at the knee. So the lower leg makes this shape. Around and round in one direction, again, at least 3. And then changing that direction. Rotations. And let yourself explore the infinity with the knee. Can you do an infinity shape? I think in the past we've done an upright 8, but try that horizontal infinity in one direction and then change to the opposite direction. So you're inviting your leg to close and open, and in the middle, do some other explorations, other movements. So there's 3 movements. There's a folding and a lengthening up and down. There's a circle in one direction and in the other, and the infinity. So finishing what you're exploring here on the left, letting that rest. Compare before you continue with the other leg, with the right leg. Take a moment to notice what just happened. How does the body feel? How does it compare one leg to the other? And in my body, I'm always impressed at how big of a difference those movements make and how I feel sitting. I feel like the leg that I practice feels deeper and lower into the ground. That's what I feel here in my body. So to even that out, I'm scooping up my right leg. I'm preparing. I'm sitting tall in my upright position, but if you're laying on the ground, again, checking your comfort, your ease. And the first movement is an open and a close. And especially if you've had any knee injuries or are recovering from any knee pain or surgery, take this slowly, take this with caution. Exploring what's available, what feels good, open and close, rotation. The rotations go in one direction and in the opposite direction. So both clockwise and counterclockwise. And I encourage you to explore slow movement. Can you feel all the different points along this circle, all 360 degrees of movement? This knee going up and around in one direction and the opposite direction, and then into infinities, into exploring that more nuanced, more subtle shape of open, close, and open again. Infinity movements with the knee. Again, in two directions, two available directions. You've got the direction that you started in, the intuitive one, and then the opposite. This might feel plenty and satisfying. This might be where you keep the practice for the knees. And some of you might like to practice both legs together. Practicing both legs together is much more demanding of the core strength of your lower back and abdominal muscles. The same movements apply, opening and closing, rotations. Can be done sitting or lying down, can be done in the mind, and can be opted out. You might rest. Rotations in one direction, in the other direction, and then infinity movements. You might, if you're sitting, you might have your arms to support you, or to make it even more challenging, to make it all about this core strength, you would use it without, you would not use your arms. So lots of options, lots of ways to make it more sustainable and more challenging in both directions, and coming to rest. All right, look at that strength. Take a few breaths. Breathing into the thighs, into the tops of the thighs, the quadriceps muscles and the backs of the thighs, the hamstring muscles. Breathing into the outside of the thighs, the IT band, iliotibial ligaments, and the inside of the thighs, the adductor muscles, the big stabilizing muscles of the legs. So thank you, legs. Deep breaths to the legs. And we'll move on for the hips. If you're lying down, you might move right to lifting and lowering at the hip. That might be what your body needs. If you're lying down, if you're sitting, you've got a little less room, but you might explore an open and closed movement. You might let your leg and your hip guide the way, guide you through these movements. Towards a rotation, you're moving your hip to then explore drawing a circle as if with the knee. Again, at least 3 in each direction. And from the circle to infinity. At least 3 in each direction, one side at a time. A moment to compare, and continuing on the second side at your pace. Exploring that movement, what's available. Where does the hip feel good? Where might the hip feel tight? Exploring rotations, being gentle to accommodate any difference between the right and left side. And from the rotations to infinity movements, more subtle, 2 rotations in one. Getting those hips addressed, cared for, nourished with your energy, with your awareness, and coming to rest. Take your time as you complete these movements for the feet, the knees, and the hips. We'll move on with the arms, with the hands and arms next. You can do this lying down as you had been. You can sit up for this. And again, you might choose to do this as a mental practice. You might choose to imagine the body doing these. And that's a fine way to practice. That's always an option, is to take it subtly. And there's still benefit to that. So notice what it feels like right now to be in your body and how your legs are feeling. The hands can be anywhere they're comfortable. I'll keep mine in the screen for you to see, but yours might be resting on your knees. They might be somewhere out to the sides, up, wherever you feel your arms are comfortable. And we'll begin with the hands, tucking the thumbs in and wrapping the fingers around the thumbs for a fist. Doing a few pumps there with the fingers around the thumb, and then opening finger by finger. And stretch between the fingers. This is maybe the most important for your wrists. Your wrists benefit from stretching the fingers open. So you'll do at least 3 of these, at least 3 fist pumps. And you might do more of them. If your hands have been quite busy today, if you do a lot with your hands, this might feel especially nice. So you're exploring that stretch, that opening movement, as much as you're exploring the shut, closed contraction that is the fist. At least 3. And maybe more. Fingers and wrists. You might do tiny finger movements, just folding the knuckles, keeping the palms open. That might be what your hands need today. And your fingers, the joints in your fingers might need rotations, and that might be something you do. We'll keep it to 3 rotations for each finger and each direction. 1, 2, 3, so that you get a taste of this practice, and you might come back and do much longer. You might do 5 or 10 rotations for each finger. When you have the time, you could be doing something else in theory as you exercise your hands. And any other kind of movements, like you're writing on a giant typewriter or a giant piano, folding one finger at a time to the palm and opening it back up. To the extent that the hand allows, one finger at a time. Doing that at least 2 times, at least 2 or 3. And once the hands are engaged, enlivened, awake, the wrists come next with that forward and back. Extend and flex. A soft fist or a comfortable position for rotation. I'm drawing that around and around. In one direction and in the opposite direction. And on to infinities. Infinities in the wrists. In one direction and in the opposite direction. We got them both. That's right. Let that rest for a moment. Elbows will be next. And the elbows are lovely because they can be long and straightened as you reach forward, and then touch the shoulders to bend the elbows. And again, let's find these different directions right in front to begin with. At least 3. Out to the sides if you have the space around you, if that's safe without any objects or walls. At least 3, and up above. Shoulders and elbows moving here, right? And if you have the space behind you, it might just be the elbows if you have a chair there, but it might be the whole length of the arm that reaches behind and then comes back to the front. Let your body open up to the sides at the arms and bringing the hands into sort of like a cactus position, drawing circles. So you know that the arms can be straight and folded and you're looking for all the spaces in between. Where do these elbows actually go? What's possible? Here in this direction and then reverse and go opposite. And infinities. Oh, can I even find them? There they are. Finding your infinity symbol through the elbows in this direction and then flipping that and going the opposite direction. As you feel satisfied and complete with the elbows, we'll move to the shoulders, bring the fingertips to rest on the shoulders as you bring the elbows towards each other and apart. Forward and back. Just to warm up the spine, warm up the shoulders from this forward and back to circles. And as the fingertips stay sort of anchored on the shoulders, that gives you that range of motion. You can point your elbows as high as you can and then out to the sides and down. And the fingers are your anchors. And change that direction. And this might be what you need, and you might explore more complicated movements like the number 8. Here's where the elbows might do a vertical infinity, a number 8 in one direction and in the opposite direction. That's right. And any other movements that your shoulders are naturally asking you to do, that's right. Some of you like to separate the shoulders out. There might be some shrugs. We'll move more deeply into the neck as you give your shoulders whatever else they need, and then the neck moves with its forward and back, the slow motion, yes. And as you move this uppermost part of the spine, let the body be tall. Let the low back and the mid back be engaged in your awareness and your position. As you let the head move forward and back. Slow as you need. Arrive at center for a side-to-side movement, the up and over, ear towards the shoulder. Up and over. Again, if this feels especially good, or you might move to the side and stay there, this might be something your neck wants to slow down and take its time with. You might do that. You might do it at your own pace. You might be moving on to the next one. You might be staying with a earlier practice. There is no wrong way to do this. My invitation continues from the side bend to a neck twist. Slow motion, no. And the fourth movement available for the neck is you imagine your nose is a pencil and you draw a small circle, just a small spiral And slowly allowing this to grow larger if it feels good, but you're listening to the sensations. What does the body feel? How slowly do you need to go to feel all the details? Spiral in this direction, large and small. Again, arrive at stillness to change direction. Changing the direction slowly from stop to the opposite direction. Letting the neck find all its places. And infinities. Let the nose draw the infinity symbol to explore what the neck can do here in this plane, in this direction, and in the opposite direction. You might need a few breaths of stillness. When you complete this movement, you might need a moment to center, to bring the body to neutral again. Notice what you've done. Notice what it feels like. We've just worked toes, ankles, knees, hips, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and neck. So breathe into the joints of your body. Let the inhale nourish these spaces. And we'll continue with a bit of cat and cow movement, cat pose. If you have the space where you are to be on the hands and knees, excellent. I'll bring out my chair today again as an alternative, as an option. So whether you're setting up on the floor, you might be setting up on the hands and knees if that's available to you in the cat and cow basics, or you might be sitting and doing this from a chair. Either way, the focus is on the spine, and either way, the movement is an exhale, forward bend, and inhale, the backward bend. So wherever you are, on the floor or on a chair, your focus is on the spine, from the tailbone to the neck, the whole spine. And you're beginning with this forward bend, backward bend combination. If you're on the floor, you're welcome to keep exploring any other hip or leg movements. You might have a cat that has some things to stretch and work out in the lower body or up in the upper body. Keep letting your body lead the way. And the same thing in the chair. If you're in the chair, you might notice you need something like a rotation. You might like to do that backward bend, side to a forward bend. That might be helpful. And the way you can reach an arm in the hands and knees position, you can do that in a chair as well. You can include the neck and the spine. So noticing what it is that your body through the back, through the spine might be asking for, might be needing. From the shoulders to the hips, whatever that is in your body. In these last weeks, we've been doing some back strengthening work. We'll continue with that. As you finalize your movements of the cat, you might rest folded up. You might like the child's pose. You might also rest lengthened out. And you might be sitting in the chair. That's the other option. So neutral, rest. If you are on the floor, let your body be long. We will practice the Sanskrit name is Shalambhasana, or locust pose in English. And in this pose, it's opposite arm and leg. So I'm beginning with my left arm, my right leg, and my upper body, lifting and lowering. Strengthening the back in this way. On one side, on the other. On the chair, a little more challenging, you might choose to continue with that back bend of one arm, feeling how that strengthens and engages the back. And you might choose to do it against the wall. You might choose to reach back with opposite limbs away from a wall. So variations on this pose. Whether you're lying down on the abdomen, working against the wall, practice one side and the other. You might alternate, you might do several repetitions on one side and the other. And something you can do on the floor, which probably not so easily in other positions, is to do the both arms, both legs variation. If you're choosing to do the whole body, both arms, both legs, let there be rest in the neutral. Let this softening be a full letting go, a surrender. To then engage and hold and soften and surrender. If you're doing any variation of this, you're engaging and holding and then softening to surrender. Find that contrast, find that range of effort. Honor your body. It's been a warm day here in northeastern Ohio, where many of us are. So if it's feeling sticky, if it's feeling hot, don't push yourself. Be gentle. Rest as needed. You might rest long. You might rest folded up. You might rest sitting down. Give yourself deep breaths. To move from the cat to the dog, from the hands and knees to the inversion, the upside down position, that is the downward dog. With the option also to practice against the wall as needed for your comfort, for your body. Get off of my pastry here. Whether you're on the floor or against the wall, you might stand tall on the toes, bend the knees to really push off, to push with the hips away from the wall, away from the hands, to find the stretch in the spine, in the armpits. To find whatever time you need there, upside down if it feels good. Letting your senses be nourished by the blood flow arriving in the head, to the eyes and the nose and the ears and the mouth. Slowly bringing your body up to standing. We'll be standing for a few minutes and then we'll take it all the way down. Let's do our standing sequence. If it feels good to do so, coming upright for a few moments. And the first place standing is to be standing, is to arrive in awareness. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the shoulders on the back of the body. And you might imagine that you've got a superhero cape on, that you've got a cape behind you so that your heart is open. You've got your super emblem here ready to open the heart. That's right. Interlace the fingers, bring the hands together in the front, flip them down as you reach up. And lengthen the sides of the bodies. You're looking for that space between the hips and the ribs to lengthen out and soften. And lengthen up and soften. If you like to come up onto the toes, this would be the place to stand on your tiptoes. Rising and lowering with your breath. Keep looking for the space, the length between the hips and the ribs. Okay. Straight up and down. And stand a little wider, step wider for the side movements. Arms can be low. Arms can be partly engaged. Arms might be reaching if that feels good, if the shoulders are good with it, if all this is flexible enough. And let that stretch go all the way to the hands. If your hands are engaged, let that be all the way through the fingers, through the details. And you might also have the arms together if that's what your body needs, if you like that top effort. Side to side. Keeping your open position in the feet as we prepare for the twist, standing and reaching to then wrap the arms around the body and look behind. Opening again to center, to forward, and wrapping around to look behind. And you might do this slowly. You might do this with gentleness, and you might do this fast. Some people like to go quickly. It's your choice. I think before we go on to the next one, I'll give you some variations on this twist specifically for the neck. So we've been doing this in kind of that classic sense that the whole body turns and goes. And so I'd like you to practice two variations, keeping the head forward. So letting your eyes be right where they are and letting the body twist without the head, without the face. So your eyes are in a single movement. See what that feels like for the neck, keeping the head to the center, the head facing forward. So starting there, and then the opposite. So let the head go around, and now leave the head in the back while the body turns forward And then turn the head all the way around, looking behind, go into the twist, and leave the head back there as your shoulders come forward first. So little variations on the twist, letting the head be last, and variations on the twist. Okay, so seeing what you're doing, seeing what is comfortable, whether the neck likes to lead the way, or it likes to drag behind, or it likes to stay in the center. Gorgeous. Okay. Bring the legs back to a parallel position under the hips. We'll do a forward and back combination. The hands together just help you stand upright, help you be tall, so that when you inhale, you can reach open and back just a little bit, forward to a forward bend. Beginning with kind of a small movement, a smaller effort, forward, back to neutral, back and forward, and back again. This might be your practice, and you're welcome to go more deeply with this. If it feels good to bring the arms higher and or lower. Again, this is your body. These are your choices. What's the movement that will feel good today, right now, and that will continue to feel good tomorrow? When you wake up, take it gently. Forward and back combination. And some of you might even like to have your hands together behind you. You might do an even deeper shoulder variation of this forward and back. And that might be what you need. But listening to your body, and please don't push yourself. Please don't force the body. Let this be an invitation, a welcoming. What does the body want? What does the body enjoy? Finding your satisfaction in this forward and back. We'll do a balancing pose all together as a group, and then you'll have a few minutes to continue with the movements that you need to round out your practice, to give your body any other efforts, stretches. Let's go back to the classics here as the season rolls in. Let's come back to a tree pose. So in the tree pose, you might just lean a heel on the opposite foot. You might bring that onto the leg. There's a turnout. The hips, right, are open and the knee points out to the side. You might begin with the hands together to find your balance, and then open the arms for continued steadiness. Eyes focused in a single point. You are part of the forest. And prepare to do 2 rounds, 2 times on each side, switching sides at your pace, at your own speed. You might continue with balance for another round if it feels especially helpful and good for you. You might feel the need to rest. You might be feeling complete. And this is a nice moment to come back to rest. And there might be some other movements that your body is hoping for or longing for. So as you complete the balance, before you move into the breathing practice, you might need a forward bend. You might need a little bow and arrow. Some of you like this one. Some of you might want to go back to something we did earlier to get it again one more time. So take this moment to do whatever it is. What does the body need? What does the body want? Letting yourself move or not move. You might be ready to rest. You might be ready to breathe. So those of you who are moving, take your time. Let your body be the guide. And if you feel complete, let your breath be your main focus as you satisfy the physical body, coming into the breath as your focus of attention. Thank you, body. Oh, these human bodies we live in. So wonderful sometimes and so troublesome at other times. Let yourself listen to your body, feel your body. And you've done wonderful things for your body. So congratulate yourself. You've exercised all the joints. You've engaged with the spine, with all the major movements of the spine. You've lengthened, side bends, twists, forward and backward bends. And we practice the balance. A balance is for the body as much as it is for the mind. Develops focus and concentration for the things that we do later in the class. You'll need that focus and that concentration for your meditation, for your breathing practice, and for the yoga nidra. So here we are, wonderful. I see lots of calm stillness in your bodies, letting the body settle in. You might be lying down, you might be sitting. Again, there's no wrong way to do this. This is your practice and your body and your breath. So we'll do a breathing practice for the next few minutes, and then that will weave into a yoga nidra. For the breathing practice, you are invited to be comfortable. Where does the body feel the best? Is it sitting? Is it lying down? And even if it was, your body was comfortable sitting last week, it might be different this week. You might want to lie down, or you might want to sit in a different way. Keep exploring what comfort means today. Where is your greatest comfort? What does the body enjoy? And we begin with the body so that the mind can let go, right? You notice the body, you care for the body, so that you can focus on the breath without disturbance from the body, right? That's why we move first. We exercise a little bit to warm up the joints, to warm up the muscles, so that they are comfortable and available to be resting, to be in neutral, at ease. Letting the body find that comfort so that you can watch your natural breath. The breathing practice will continue with today is again the progressive breath, and we'll move that into an Ujjayi pranayama if you're familiar with Ujjayi. And if not, you'll be guided, you'll be given some directions, so don't worry. Beginning with witnessing, beginning with allowing the breath to come and go, the freedom of the breath. Watch the breath come and go. Just notice how deep is the breath today. How deep is the spontaneous, the natural breath? Can you feel the breath in the back? Maybe around the armpits? Can you feel the breath in the abdomen? Naturally, without making an effort, can you feel the breath in the pelvis? And if it feels okay, if it feels safe and comfortable, breathe in partway and pause and continue the inhale again and release a full, smooth exhale. So to exaggerate, your breath might be like this. Keeping it quiet for yourself. I'll make the sound for demonstration. But breathing in, pause, continue, inhale, and exhale. And there may be 2 pauses. There may be 3 pauses. You might breathe in little steps. So you're building the inhale. Little sips with a pause. Inhale, pause. Inhale, pause. Fill the body, inflate the lungs, the chest, the belly. Full breath and exhale. Slow, smooth, full breath. So practicing interrupting the inhale, pausing the inhale, maybe 1 pause, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 pauses, so that you're building an inhale that is deeper. You're building the inhale to be more full, more complete. And you're physically bringing more oxygen inside of the body. You're inflating all the balloons of the lungs, making them full. And following a smooth exhale. You might like to do a few deeper breaths. You might want to do a few giant inhales, maybe a yawn. And if you're familiar with Ujjayi pranayama, you are welcome to practice Ujjayi. Ujjayi is a pattern in the throat. It is the breath of snoring. It really is. As you fall asleep, or you might hear that baby snore, allowing that gentle whisper in the throat. Making that soft sound as the awareness listens, listening to the breath. Inviting this sound to soothe the mind. Let the sound of the breath be a good friend, a friend to the ears, a friend to the heart. The body loves breathing. It's been breathing since the day you were born. Your body will breathe when you're sleeping and awake. Your body will breathe when you're paying attention and when you're not. So enjoy feeling this breath, enjoy witnessing the breath. And you might be practicing Ujjayi pranayam, you might be letting that go, to watch the natural breath, to witness the effortless breath. Let yourself be in neutral. The body will breathe. Trust the body to breathe with no instruction, no effort. Watch the inhale arrive. Become full. And then switch to the exhale. The body knows this pattern. And the exhale leaves the body. And the body knows to switch. The body knows that moment to switch from exhale to inhale. And this happens spontaneously. There's nothing you have to do. You can just witness the body in the breath. From this practice of breath awareness, we'll move into Yoga Nidra. For this practice, again, you are invited to be at your most comfortable. If there's any part of you that wants to lie down, let yourself lie down. On the back is a great place to rest, is a great place to receive Yoga Nidra. You might choose to be sitting. Sitting is an option, absolutely, if that is where your body is comfortable. Sitting or lying down. If you're choosing to lie down, choose your favorite position. That might be on the back, but you might choose to be on the side or on the belly. And let's take a few minutes to give the body everything it needs to be comfortable. Even on a warm day like today, it might be nice to have a cover nearby. The body will cool down in this practice. And it might be nice to have something under the knees or under the head, giving the body the support it enjoys, reminding your body that it is fully supported. The planet here, planet Earth, holds your body every day, all day long. Feel this gravity, feel this loving force that this planet has for you. The planet wants to hold you. And what can you do for the planet to be easy to hold? How can you organize this body so that this planet can hold you like holding a sleeping baby or a sleeping puppy? Find that neutral, soft state of surrender. The whole body resting, the body comfortable, preparing for the practice that is Yoga Nidra. In this preparation, the journey is set. How you prepare will be how you enjoy the practice. So this is a moment to really care for the details, accommodate everything you might need. And let the eyes close. If it is safe to do so where you are, the eyes can close. I keep my eyes open. And what little bit of your spaces I see, I will mind as the facilitator of this practice. And again, if anything comes up for you, if you feel the need to connect and communicate with me, the private messages here on the Zoom are open for you to do that. And hopefully you will have no need to come out of your rest. Hopefully you will have a pleasant and easy yoga nidra. In these next 15 minutes, you are invited to be home, the awareness with the body, the awareness with the breath, home, settling, surrendering to earth, surrendering to gravity, and perhaps surrendering to sleep. If you are sleepy, allow the body to sink into that sleep. This practice is guided, this practice is structured so that you will be awakened and externalized at the end of the practice. And at the same time, the beauty of your practicing at home means that if you do fall asleep and choose to stay asleep, no harm done. You are safe to do that. You are welcome to do that. So give yourself that permission. Give yourself that allowance. You cannot do this wrong. This is your practice. This is your body and your breath and your awareness. As I guide with some suggestions, you might choose to follow them. You might have a different experience. Again, there's no wrong way to practice. Beginning with the comfort of this human body. Organize the legs and arms and shoulder blades and head and tongue. Let the tongue be soft in the mouth. The body is resting and the awareness is home. Curious here about the body, about the breath. The awareness is here seeking to bring the greatest comfort. Any shifts in position, any accommodations with props, blankets, pillows are your main task. You are here in service of awareness, in service of rest. And this might be the most important practice that you do today or even this week, this conscious rest. The mind awake while the body is asleep. Let the awareness be in the chest, in the heart space, in the emotional, tender inner world. And let yourself ask the question, how do I wish to feel? How do I wish to feel? Physically, what does this body enjoy? How do I wish to feel in the body? What are the emotions that I invite, that I welcome? How do I wish to feel in the heart? What are some of the experiences that I long for? What is this mind and heart and body wishing for? What experiences, what feelings, what sensations? How do I wish to feel? Let that be a question. Let that be a query, a quest. How do I wish to feel? And let this awareness move. Let the awareness move down to the feet. The awareness will be invited to move around the body as the body keeps resting. The body stays still and the mind moves around the body. With an awareness of the right heel, the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. Be aware of the right ankle and lower leg, the right knee and the upper leg, hip and buttock on the right leg from toes to hip. Become aware of the left foot, the left heel, sole of the foot and top of the foot, the left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. Be aware of the left ankle, lower leg, knee and upper leg, the left hip and buttock, the left leg from toes to hip. And take this awareness now to the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring and little finger, palm, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, the right shoulder and armpit, the right arm from fingers to shoulder. And take the awareness over to the left hand as you notice the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring and little finger, the left hand and wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder and armpit, and the left arm from the fingers to the shoulder. And take the awareness back down to the pelvis, to the tailbone. Follow the spine from the tailbone through the sacrum, up the low back and down the thoracic spine where the ribs connect to the spine. Be aware of the shoulder blades and the space between the shoulder blades, the upper back and into the back of the neck. And bring the awareness again down to the pelvis, this time to the front of the body from the pubic symphysis, the pubic bones, to the navel, to the solar plexus, to the breastbone. As the awareness moves up the breastbone and the chest to the collarbones, right and left, and the hollow between the collarbones, and up the front of the neck. Notice the chin and the lips, the right cheek and the left cheek, the right nostril and the left nostril, tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, right eye, left eye, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, and the point between the eyebrows, forehead, and the top of the head, together with the right and left sides, the right and left ear, listening to these instructions. Be aware of the face and head, the neck and shoulders, right arm and left arm, the trunk, chest and back and belly and pelvis, and both legs together, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body. Be aware of the whole body together, the whole body resting and breathing. Watch the breath. The breath keeps moving gently and softly. The breath keeps showing up and taking off. Arrival of inhale, departure of exhale. Watch this rhythm, watch this pattern. Watch how the inhale becomes the exhale, how the body changes from inhale to exhale. And watch how the exhale becomes the inhale. The body knows when to switch. And that's the pattern. You can trust this. You can trust that the inhale ends with that shift, that switch, and the exhale comes next. And ends again with that shift, that pause, that moment of transition to become the inhale again. And it might be nice to let the mind follow the breath, easy in and out. Perhaps the mind likes a task. It might be helpful to count the breath. You might choose to count mentally, counting from 9 backwards. You might say mentally, breathing in 9, breathing out 9, breathing in 8, breathing out 8, and so on. You might just choose to watch the breath with no counting. You might just choose to witness this movement, this ongoing exchange. Be with the breath. Body and breath, body and breath and awareness. Watch this body breathing. If you are counting, let the mind count. And if the count is lost or finished, begin again with 9. Or let it go. Or let go of the counting. Awareness of breath, of body. And again, this question, how do I wish to feel? What does this human life long for? What are the physical experiences, the physical sensations? How do I wish to feel in the body? Can the body show you what it desires? Can the body show you what it longs for? Creating that sensation as if it were here, letting that sensation be real. Feeling how you wish to feel in your whole body. Filling up this body with these feelings. How do I wish to feel in the breath? Can I breathe in the way that my body wishes to breathe? What does that feel like? Is this an easy breath, a peaceful breath, a nourishing, complete breath, a breath that brings energy and cleans up tension, a breath that delivers the good and takes away anything else? How do I wish to feel? There may be answers to these questions. There may be guidance the body might know, and it may not. There's maybe a mystery. And so allowing a mystery, if one is here, don't push, don't force. Holding the question is a practice in and of itself. You might fall asleep holding this question to see if the answers arrive in the nighttime, in a dream, or upon waking. Holding the question, how do I wish to feel? As a lifelong exploration of always feeling better and better, little by little. Collecting what you wish to collect from this experience, perhaps a feeling, perhaps an insight, and perhaps just the sweetness of the moment here, out of the time, out of the obligations and responsibilities of the world, just this moment to be with yourself. This practice is coming to an end. Slowly, the Yoga Nidra will be finished and our time together will conclude. There is no rush. As always, you are welcome to stay here with your breath, with your body, however slow you need to be. And if it feels good to externalize, if it feels good to connect with the senses, to listen to sounds, to feel the body, to feel the air on your skin and the clothing on your skin and the floor beneath. Feel this whole body. Again, be home. Be aware of your shape, of your position and placement. All the sensations of life in your body. Feel this breath and let the breath deepen as this practice comes to an end. You might yawn, you might stretch, you might move little tiny movements. You might just move the fingertips or the tongue, or you might have bigger movements. You might stretch or roll over or hug the body. Touch your face. You might like to touch the eyebrows and the forehead as you awaken and emerge out of this practice, touching the fingertips to the thumb tip as a way to awaken the brain. Our practice here is complete. Yoga Nidra has concluded. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Take your time awakening and emerging. If there's somewhere you need to be tonight, this is the moment to start thinking about that, to prepare your energetics for what's next. And maybe rest is next. Maybe this is all the activity for you today. Thank you again for showing up and making this class what it is. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and leave a comment about your experience. And while you're here, please subscribe to my channel and opt in for notifications to catch the next class I upload. And then head over to olgachwa.com to join in a live event or to work one-on-one with me. I'm here to help.